Check, 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 check. Ooh, okay, that's enough checks. Welcome to my new project. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you know me from TikTok, I used to spend a lot of time on TikTok. I've made about 4 hours of content, $100, 76,000 followers, and some mental distress along the way. But what I'm trying to do right here is the opposite of TikTok. I want to take all the worries, all the stress away from you, okay? For the next 10 to 20 minutes, don't worry about clicking anywhere. Don't worry about going anywhere. It's like TV. Just tune in and relax. You're watching a show. You're watching my show. You're in good hands. You're in my hands. You're in good hands, and I really hope that you're doing well, and I hope that we're going to do well together. Theme song should be coming in any second now, but, you know, nothing wrong with taking a little time to breathe. As you hear the sine waves coming in, filtering in and bouncing around, I want you to remember something. I want you to remember that no matter where you are in the world right now, I'm there with you, right here. And no matter what time of the day or night you're watching this, it's that time for me too. Welcome to the Late Capitalism Show. I'm probably going to start freestyling over that at some point. I did make that, by the way. I hope you enjoyed it. So what is this show? What am I doing here? Well, I want you to experience it. I want you to experience it as it unfolds for you today. All I will say up front right here is that I'm going to have 3 guests on tonight. They will represent some different perspectives on something, and I want you to tell me what that something is down in the comments. Also, do you like the lights? I really like the lights. I feel like I've entered a certain echelon of YouTubers that have a lot of different colored lights. But regardless of all of that, welcome to my show. I hope you're doing well. I really do. And let's have our first guest, shall we? Please put your hands together for the internet's most asked questions about Paik for president. Okay, so I just put this box anywhere. Okay, all right. I'll just put it in my pocket. This is good. It's got the sound and everything. Okay. What's up? It's your boy Isaiah Paik, aka Paik for president, and I'm here with What's up, guys? It's me, Paik for president, and I'm here with and I'm gonna be answering some of the internet's questions about me. I'm very excited for this. Who is Paik for president? Well, that's me. My name is Isaiah Paik. I am 21 years old. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio originally, although my parents were born in Korea, South Korea. I started putting out content on TikTok in March of 2020, and now I have 76.7 thousand followers on TikTok currently, 1,990 followers on Instagram, and 239 subscribers on YouTube. How would you describe your content? I do a lot of stuff. I guess politics. Politics is what I would say. I started out doing political content. It was March 2020, so everyone was talking about the Democratic primary, so I started talking about that. And then 2021, a lot of the Asian hate stuff came around, and I, as a member of the Asian American community, I felt some sort of obligation to speak on these issues and talk about my own experience. And I actually gained a lot of followers during that period. So I guess progressive politics and sort of general advocacy, nothing, that's not advertiser friendly, but I try to make the world a better place. What's the most interesting thing you've learned from your influencer journey? I've learned that TikTok will take every ounce of creativity and energy that you have and it will still make you feel bad for not giving them more. I've learned that there are hundreds of amazing people on this platform and on other platforms, and I really hope to work with them. In fact, here's a bunch of the creators that I would really like to work with, and here's a bunch of my TikTok mutuals. You can see that they overlap a little bit, and I would love for any of y'all to squat up and work on something with me. I feel like, you know, collaboration has always been the most fun part of this whole experience. But I think in terms of the most interesting thing I've learned from my influencer journey is to just be patient with yourself. You know, you can't, you know, it's very difficult to set very extreme follower goals and try to reach them. Just be patient and know that if you're making good content and you really care about it, there will be an audience for you. And that's the beauty of the world that we live in today. Next question. Why are you so inconsistent? Your content is so sporadic, and whenever you post, it's some random garbage that nobody watches. Why can't you post consistently like a good creator and make content that's meaningful and topical and inspiring? Why do you take these long breaks from filming your face every day? Are you scared of TikTok, Isaiah Paik? Are you scared of us, Isaiah Paik? Who wrote these questions? Where can people find you now, and what are your current projects? Yes, well, I have a lot of stuff going on, and I'm all over the place, but you can find me on pretty much any platform, especially the big ones, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, at Paik for President. I used to put stuff out under different names, but I realized that, you know, it's 2022, it's time for me to project a coherent identity and create a brand for myself so that, you know, I can get a lot of followers. In terms of current projects, right now I'm working on a new show for YouTube, for this space, where I basically want to have a lot of different styles of content all together, makes for really easy TikTok snippets and good advertising on that platform. And I'm basically trying to make a new show that's all of the different, you know, elements of my influencer personality put together and easily packaged up for YouTube and for TikTok. Am I going to run for president? No, I don't think that I will. I know that my name everywhere is Paik for President, and I want to make it very clear that this was entirely a political clout move. I started TikTok, as I said, in March 2020. Everyone was talking about politics, and everybody was talking about the Democratic primary. I figured I could get a lot of traction if I, as a 19-year-old at the time, just started making TikTok saying I was running for president. And, I mean, it worked out, but I would say I'm pretty confident that that's all that's going to come of that name. And now, a message from the president. Hello. I hope this broadcast finds you well. The last time I addressed the nation was at my inauguration address last week, and there I made some promises. I promised, as you remember, that I do not intend to run for re-election. In fact, ever since I was a young man, I knew that I was going to be a one-term president. This is because, first of all, I think that the farce of trying to get short-term gains and make big promises for my re-election after I've spent 4 years not really getting anything done is unnecessary and unproductive. And I also plan to implement changes so large, so radical, so progressive, and so significant that you won't need to see me anymore after 4 years. In fact, I want my campaign and my presidency to be defined not by some promises I made before I was reelected, but by the policies that I'm going to implement in my first year. My vision is to implement 10 policies. And each of these policies will be radical, dynamic, progressive, expensive, but hopefully incredibly impactful and beneficial to the American people. However, these policies are not set in stone until they are proven effective, and that is an Isaiah Paik promise. So, in my third and fourth year, I will begin commissioning studies on the effectiveness of these policies. They will look into the economic impacts, environmental, social, humanitarian. All of the impacts to these policies will be analyzed, and that analysis will be made public, such that, in the end of my term, we as a nation can decide whether or not we want to keep these policies and have them continue in perpetuity, or if we want to address or adjust or change some of them. I want you to be in the driver's seat during this presidency as much as I am. That said, today I'm going to announce our first of these 10 Paik policies. And I want to start by describing the vision here. So currently in the United States, 38 million Americans experience chronic hunger. This problem cannot be overstated, okay? 10% of American households are routinely food insecure, uncertain about where their next meal will come from, and especially because many of these households have children who are trying to grow and educate themselves and become the future of this nation, the lack of access to food, the basic necessity for life, is putting them far behind. This problem has been addressed in lots of ways, but today I'm going to propose to you the solution that hopefully will make this problem a problem of the past. And the solution is going to be called USA Cafes. Imagine, if you will, you could walk into a building in every neighborhood, in every city, all over the United States, and this building had food. And unlike every other building that has food, we call them restaurants, I understand, you don't have to pay any money. You can walk up to the counter, you can see a beautiful menu of lots of healthy, nutritious food. You can order whatever you want, they'll prepare it for you, they'll give it to you, and that's it. You can eat there, you can take it to go, you can hang out with your friends at this building with free food. Imagine if that was the case, right? Before you think about how this is going to happen, don't you think that that wouldn't be a bad idea? Right? A place much like a public library or some proposals of universal health care, which may come down the line, where food is free at the point of service. Now, obviously, food is not free, and this would be subsidized by the federal government, on the federal government's dime, if you will. But food is free for anybody who needs it and anybody who wants it at that location. That's the vision. Now, how is this going to happen? Well, I'm very glad that you asked your screen or phone or computer, because I have a really good plan for this. Because even though it would cost lots and lots of money for the federal government to build new buildings all over this country to fulfill this purpose of giving away food, we wouldn't have to spend a dime to get the buildings. You know why? Because buildings like this already exist, and they're called MacDonalds. So here's where the plan gets tricky, right? Because McDonald's is an international corporation. They operate franchises and they have their own restaurants and they're all over the world, okay? And obviously, the United States does not have jurisdiction over a McDonald's restaurant in Russia or Canada or Australia. But inside the United States, the federal government, aka this guy, is in charge. And that means that starting tomorrow, I'm going to pass an executive order that says that it is going to be illegal to own or operate McDonald's in the United States. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that we're going to be moving into all these places and arresting every employee or every franchise owner who's just trying to make a living. Obviously not, right? But that making it illegal is important because of the second step, which is we are going to use a little legal doctrine called civil asset forfeiture in order to then seize every McDonald's location, right? Again, we're just concerned about acquiring the property here, not about harming any workers or making things worse for people trying to support their families. Once we have every single American McDonald's location, and again, I recognize some of these are franchises and some of them are owned by McDonald's corporate, it doesn't matter, we're going to approach all of these with a deal, right? And the deal is that everybody working there can continue to work there at $20 an hour starting salary with full benefits, including vision, dental, healthcare, and a retirement plan. Anybody who owns a franchise can continue having a leadership position at that location and continue having wages paid, all on the federal government's dime. So we have the workers there. The supply chain will initially very much resemble McDonald's supply chain. I mean, McDonald's is able to feed and send food to all of these restaurants every single day, and we will be able to do the same, only funded by the federal government. However, in the longer term, I hope that the funding and supply chain issues will be resolved because we will transition over to a model that prioritizes local food and local food sourcing. This is, again, also a response to something that some of you are probably thinking about right now, which is induced demand. Obviously, if every McDonald's location started offering food for free, as opposed to charging the very little amount of money that they do charge for that food, it would drive up demand. More people would want to go. And so One solution to that is going to have to be grace and patience as we roll this program out. But by adjusting the supply chain so that they draw primarily from local farmers and local ranchers and local communities, we will not only have a little more local flavor in all these McDonald's, which have become USA cafes, but we will also hopefully have a more robust and secure supply chain that can weather changes in demand from more people eating the food. So that's the practicality of it. But before I leave, I want to explain the future here, the real vision. Because at the beginning, these USA cafes will be very much like McDonald's, except for, of course, all the food is free at the point of consumption. But these spaces can be used for so much more, especially because they're all going to be run and managed on the federal government's dollar. So, before an election, all of these sites could become federally funded and federally protected voter registration sites. During an election, each of these locations could become a voting booth. Between elections or for other reasons, they can become community centers. We could have post offices at some of these locations or mailboxes at all of them. We can have community events there. There can be concerts, performances, charity, fundraisers, mutual aid, donation boxes. All of these things are possible once you create a consistent site across the country where you can exist and eat and enjoy community without the pressure or expectation of spending money. But of course, it's all about money, right? So how is this even going to happen, right? McDonald's declares to us, the federal government, that it costs about $11 billion to operate all of their businesses. Let's say that that is just for the United States, because I'm presuming, in fact, that that's what they declared to us, that that is their global operating costs. But let's say that's not. Let's say that's just how much it costs to run all the restaurants in the United States in terms of food and paying workers, right? $11 billion, probably an overestimate. But even if that's the final price tag of this program per year, the US military budget is $768 billion for this year. $768 billion. If we take $11 billion out of that, that means our US military budget is still $757 billion. That's larger than every other military budget. That's larger than the next couple put together. And that's more than enough to ensure that our country is safe from all threats, foreign and domestic. And so I ask you, the American people, not only for grace and patience as we roll this program out, but also for you to join me in envisioning a future for Americans where food insecurity is a problem of the past, a future where every community, especially communities that are underserved and underfunded due to neglect or abuse or oppression, those communities, but all communities, will have access to good, local, nutritious food for free, but also a space where they can learn and grow and work together and share their lives with each other as a community. This is my vision. This is the vision behind USA Cafes, and I hope that you will join me in this vision as we embark on this policy and this progressive revolution in food security together. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Well, those were some interesting guests. We had that first guy, I forget his name, but his jacket, it was such a bourgeois jacket, okay? Who pulls up in like an all-white North Face to like a Wired interview or something? But then, folks, we had the President of the United States, like these United States. This is my first week doing this show, okay? Can you imagine what it feels like to have the POTUS, the president, on your show in the first week? It's kind of wild. It's kind of sick. It's kind of a high bar for a first week guest. But, my friends, the night is winding down. The video is crawling to a close. Actually, I think it would be that way for you guys. The video is crawling to a close in either case, and I hope you enjoyed the show so far. In fact, if you have enjoyed the show, any part of the show, you could show your appreciation by showing your finger to the like button or showing your mouse pointer to the subscribe button. I would very much appreciate your show of support. But folks, at the beginning of the show, I made you a solemn promise. I made you a deep, heartfelt promise. And I promised you 3 guests. Not 2, 3. Count them. 3. And we've only had 2 guests so far. And the third guest of each show, or the last guest of each show, I should say, will be special, will be different, will be unique. Because the third guest, or the last guest, will be a musical guest. And tonight, we have a very, very special treat. Because everybody talks about the big names in music. Now, I can't think of any right now, but I'm sure there are big names in music, yes. But nobody, and I mean nobody, talks about the small names in music. And having a small name in music is honestly more impressive because there's so many people out here, so many ways you could get discovered. It's almost a miracle to even have a small name in music these days. But tonight, we have a real treat because we have one of the smallest names in music on our show tonight. He's sitting in the green room right over there. Ladies and gentlemen, here to perform one of his singles. It wasn't his most recent single. It was the single he put out before his most recent single called Parasite. Please give your warm The Late Capitalism Show welcome to Isaiah Paik, a.k.a. Paik for President. Take it away. This is Parasite, take 2, a little more chill this time. However, I do still have a really sick microphone that makes my voice sound super crispy. Very crispy.
In total,
okay, here
American
we go.
billionaires have gained $1 trillion in wealth just this year. I'm celebrating
Parasite by Paik for President, all streaming platforms, everywhere in the universe. We're gonna play it from the helicopters. Let's go.
This is a new record.
It's revolution time, do or die. You and I gotta cross them up and leave them crucified, petrified, before they hit us with the pesticide. Kill us like Epstein, make it look like suicide. Hey, it's revolution time, you decide if you wanna be a hero or a parasite. If you wanna be essential or a socialite. Put the Reggie on the side, let's do some regicide. Look, the ruling class is moving fast to manifest a paradise for capital. So the rest of us are left with dust and scraps of life. They watch us fight like animals. But if we rise up like we can beast wolf down all the pigs at the top. And if we huff and puff like a beast, we can smash their head with the Skylar's rock. Bring a knife and fork for the bourgeoisie, cause we better eat rich like caviar. Better change the earth when they catch wind of the fire. We'll bend their way like the Avatar. I'ma be the commissar, leading the people, separate workers from evil. This ain't a stunt like Knievel, this is a manifesto. The means of production become the seeds of destruction. But if we beat the disruption, we can reset. Yo, bet, bro, now's the time to rise out of the basement and attack. I ain't talking about attacks, but a seizure, cause they're trying to put our living space and join us all like rats. Time to stab them in the back like Caesar, cause they're never gonna go Ebenezer. Not gonna change, so we gotta fight uphill. Only one way that we're gonna make the cup spill. Wealth won't trickle down, but the blood will. Ayy, it's revolution time, do or die. You and I gotta cross them up and leave them crucified, petrified, before they hit us with the pesticide. Kill us like Epstein, make it look like suicide. Ayy, it's revolution time, you decide if you wanna be a hero or a parasite. If you wanna be essential or a socialite, yeah. Put the Reggie on the side, let's do some regicide. The 1% will go to Mars before they ever change the climate on this rock that they all just take for granted. So it's guillotine or Glock, doesn't matter, I just need a lot of bodies in the street, Maseratis in a heap. Everybody who was ever owed a mansion, about to get it when we pull up like Manson. Fuck a trigger warning, we need handguns. Take them all, the court of this devour. We gon' kill them all for sport, one shot and one. How the hell you gonna raise a generation on the Hunger Games? Get us fired up like the Mockingjay, then tell us sit down, shut up, go away. We just wanna see Elon on Bombay. We just wanna see Bezos with his head in an Amazon box. Know it's time to eat like when Ramadan stops. Move fast like some Autobahn cars. Outlast all the Pentagon ops. Ayy, it's not time to write a letter, don't get stationary. At the moment every other thing is secondary. We're already getting married by the dead canaries. It's time for a legendary people's military. It's time for some revolutionary action. It's time for some paramilitary fashion. It's time for some economic liberation, menu stations. It's time for some parasite extermination, yeah. It's revolution time, do or die. You and I gotta cross them up and leave them crucified, petrified, before they hit us with the pesticide. Kill us like Epstein, make it look like suicide, yeah. It's revolution time, you decide if you wanna be a hero or a parasite, yeah. If you wanna be essential or a socialite. If the Reggie on the side, let's do some regicide, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo. But the Reggie on the side, there's a regicide, yeah. I told myself that I would not go off so robustly, but alas, what can one do? Well, that is our show. Thank you so very much for watching. I had such a good time making this show for you this week. I hope to put it out every week, in fact. Look for new episodes of The Late Capitalism Show every Saturday night on YouTube from now until I stop doing this. But for now, and for forever, the world can and will get better. Thank you so much for watching my show. I really appreciate it. And have a restful, relaxing, beautiful night. Thank you.